Kaja Kallas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Here in Munich, topic number 1, 2, and 3 is the war. We're almost 1 year in. Tell me just for a moment, how do you actually think it's going?
It is going much better than we thought a year ago. Even less than a year ago, when the war started, there were, predictions that it's not going to last that long. But Ukraine has survived and fought very hard, so it's going better than it was than we thought it was back then. But to look into the future, how is it going in the future? Do we see any way out of this? It's very hard to say. I mean, we are constantly monitoring everything that is going on in Russia. Is there any change, in the mindset of backing off from this war? We don't see that. So they are, in poker terms, all in.
And it is a poker analogy. It's not a chess analogy. Everyone said that Putin was a great chess master. No, he's a poker player with a weak hand, and he's just pushed all the chips in the middle.
Yeah, it seems so, yes. I mean, cronies around him are questioning a bit, are we going to the right direction? Because they are feeling this also. I mean, the sanctions and everything, they are feeling this. And the army, is the army happy? Well, that's a question, because the support for the war has been high, but if people feel it on their skin, sort of, then the support will go down.
You're a frontline state, and you've been hit by massive cyber attacks before. Yeah. You know what it's like to be under the gun from Russia. Have you felt any escalation in asymmetric warfare, other national security threats to your country?
Well, the cyber attacks have increased, and we have been under severe cyber attacks. But we have also, since the 2007, when we were first hit by cyber attacks, we have invested a lot in cybersecurity. So our people don't know about those attacks because they don't go through. But of course, they are learning and trying to use new tools to attack our e-governance. Of course, we are monitoring, the Russian influence within our society and trying to divide our society. And this is what they do elsewhere as well. But I think that our society is actually more resilient to this because we know to look for this. And we have already, since the war started, we have sent, people who don't have the right to be in Estonia. We have sent them away back to Russia. And we constantly monitor when such people come up. So I think that we are actually more resilient than some of the countries that have much better neighbors and feel that Russia is a far away country. Well, no, they're working everywhere.
When I think about the last year, one of the most extraordinary things is that you've had 27 European Union states vote for 9 rounds of sanctions.
Yes.
You've had them all support Ukrainian accession to the EU. You're a frontline state, and all 3 Baltics, the Nordics, Poland, obviously have a different perspective on national security when it comes to Russia than, say, Spain, right? How are you feeling the honest tensions inside the coalition? Not the fact that you get the votes, but is it getting harder? Are you seeing the potential for that fragmentation?
In 2014, when Crimea happened, I was a member of European Parliament. And in the European Parliament, you have people who are directly elected from different member states and represent different views. And you could see what their public opinion is. And I was so shocked how fast it went to that direction that let's forget about it, let's move on. And this time it's different. In order to influence the decisions of leaders of democratic countries, you have to work with their public opinion, that they see the picture the way we see. And I think keeping this unity has been, very big achievement for the European Union, but also NATO. And it's getting harder. That is true, because, new worries come in, high inflation, all the worries that we have in our domestic politics. Like one of the prime ministers from one country that is not close to that war at all said to me that my public opinion is not supporting this at all, but I'm doing this because I want to be on the right side of history, and I'm trying to bring my people on board.
Should there be limits to the military support that's provided to Ukraine, or really no? Is it whatever the Ukrainians need that should be made available?
I think the message should be very clear that as long as the war is going on, we haven't done enough. That means we haven't given enough military support, and we have to continue supporting Ukraine that they can defend themselves. Planes and tanks, they are like, they get more attention than ammunition that is really, really needed. And that's why I made last week a proposal that how we can procure the ammunition to be sent directly to Ukraine so that the military or the defense industry in Europe would also boost their production like the Russian military industry has. So I think that is actually more important than, one or two planes. But coming to a question, I don't really think there are limits, and we have overcome several taboos on the way of this 1 year.
The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines were destroyed. Sabotage, that we know. We've had investigations going on for several months. There's been nothing. We have no idea. The West, of course, immediately said this was the Russians. Do you buy that? It was, of course, their pipelines.
When I heard about this, and it was the same day when the Danish-Polish pipeline was opened.
This was back in September last year.
Yes, yeah. And the immediate thought that came to my mind, because in the Soviet Union, things didn't go as planned. So I was like, okay, they messed up with the pipeline. They put the
bomb on the wrong one?
The wrong one.
Okay, let's assume that didn't happen.
Of course, there is investigation, and there has to be some proof, and you have to prove who has done it to attribute it to somebody. But of course, I have questions because it's not answered certainly who did it.
How do you think about the world differently now than you did a year ago?
Europe is a small region, and we think that we know each other. We actually don't know each other's history that well. We have to talk about this, but we also have to listen other experience. Everybody understands that war is bad and peace is good, but there is also a difference between peace and peace. I mean, we had peace after the Second World War, and France and Germany had peace. Whereas, peace in France and Germany was that they built up their countries, their well-being of their people, societies.
And you were a captured nation.
And we were deported, killed, our elites were erased, our language, culture pressed down. That was the peace as well, and this is the peace that is going to be on the occupied territories. And what is really making me worried is that for 50 years, when we were occupied, we were not really missed. And we missed you. I can tell you, being from the occupied country, those countries that really share the same values and want to be in the European family, that we stick together and we don't close our eyes and ears what is happening.
So last question for you. After a year, is the United States, my country, more trusted?
Yes.
Kaja Kallas, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Short answer.
No, I'm good with. I was good with that.